Dun dun dun
bum
dun
bum
dun
bum
dun dun dun
bum
dun dun
bum
dun
bum
dun
bum.
dun dun dun.
Gildan
Balls!
balls.
I thought you were doing it. Like I thought you started it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm running late," so I started it. And then it was all just
Yeah.
jacked up, all jacked up.
Thank you, delay. Thank you, delay.
Well, welcome everybody back to another episode of the Kilted Balls podcast. We're drinking Firework Faygo today.
Oh, awesome. What flavor is that?
Fireworks. So, do you see the like pop there?
Oh, like that. It's like a bomb pop.
Yep, it tastes just like that.
Is it better or worse than a rock and rye?
Ooh, I love rock and rye. Let me try another sip here. It's close. It's close.
Okay, nice. I have to try it. I have to try it.
It's pretty good. Pretty good, people. Recommend. Got it for Father's Day. One of my daughters brought me that for Father's Day. I was like,
That's awesome.
perfect gift. Perfect gift. I'm easy to please, people. Easy to please. So hopefully, listeners, you guys have had a great week. I have been doing like a little kids camp this week for like inventions. That's been a great time.
That's super cool.
Yeah, you know, it's something you and I talk about a lot on the episode. And so one of my kiddos wanted to do it, and they're like, you know, it'd be cool if you like taught it too. And I've done it before, so I was like, all right, I'll do this. This is in my wheelhouse and inventing and all that. And so my shtick is running a game show called Prototyping Studio. And so
Okay.
I start them off. I give them like a bag of stuff and give them like 10 minutes to do a rapid prototype. And then we like talk about like why we did what we did. Like everybody talks about it. And then I have them like improve their prototypes. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. Kindergarten to like 5th grade. So they're little kiddos. And they're hilarious. Hilarious.
Oh, I bet you that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think the news thing came out and interviewed me the other day, so they were like, can we interview you too? And I'm like, sure. And then somebody was like, hey, we saw you on Facebook. I was like, all right. I'm like, I'm kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal.
I missed that. Yeah, is that legal? Is that legal to do with running for office?
I think so.
I guess they asked you.
And they don't use my screen name of Ballbuster, and I thought about being like, hey, make sure you say it's Ballbuster, but you know, when it's official stuff, they have to use like my normal name.
Yeah, that's true. So they know who you are on the ballot.
Right. Or on
That's
the news
awesome.
or anything else. So yeah, so that's going good. That's fun. It tires you out though, right? Because with little kids, as you know, you're like going the whole time. So
yeah,
and it's warm up here.
yeah. So you're having a little bit of a tougher time with that.
You know, I get by the end of the day, I finish around 3:34. I am tired, so I'm like, all right. But I went for a run yesterday. That was fun too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. It was just a little one. I had like a practice, and so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for a run. Even though it's 94 degrees out, I'm going to go for a run. It was not horrible. My legs were a little sore today, but one of the things I've been thinking I want to do, and this is kind of a big goal, and I think I've mentioned it before, but somebody made a joke about it this weekend, and I'm like, you know, why not?
Yeah.
Like, you're joking about my goal, but that's the easiest way to get me to do a goal. So
It's true.
My goal is like, I've thought it would be cool, and I got this. We'll see if you can remember who I got this from. So it's someone from your past. But I was thinking I want to run 50 miles on my 50th birthday. And I thought that'd be kind of cool to do that. Right? And I'm thinking, like, my gut tells me, you know, to make a 5-mile loop and go do it 10 times. Right? And plan on it being like an hour for each one. Start like at 6 a.m. Go do a loop. Take a break for a little bit, do a loop, take a break for a little bit, you know, and maybe go till 9 or 10 at night and have different friends come and run the loop with me, right?
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
And, you know, like we'd hang out and run a loop and chit-chat, and that'd be kind of fun, I thought. So yeah, they were like laughing about it. Like I've had people laugh at me about it before because they're like, ha ha ha, as if you'd ever be able to do it. And I thought, I don't know if that is a that far a stretch for me. I've run 20 miles before when I've done like no training.
So, yeah, I don't think that would be that difficult for you.
I don't think so, but I'm like, I better start running. So
yes, so that's part of it. Yeah, you got a few months to train. I don't know who you would have gotten that from.
You don't know?
I mean, I think I know who might have picked on you to try to get you.
No, lots of people have picked on me. But Don Call, was that his name? Don Call?
Okay, nice.
Right?
Did he do that for his 50th?
He did that for his 50th. So I remember talking to him one time when we were running, because he used to like run with us at MSU, remember?
Yep.
And I remember one of the times he was like, yeah, I had a great weekend. He goes, I did 50 miles because it was my 50th birthday, and I wanted to do 50 miles on my 50th birthday. And I was like, that's really cool. I like that. So
that's awesome.
I know, and I figure if I'm too weak, I can do 50 kilometers on my birthday, and close enough.
There you go.
So,
yeah.
I'll do something.
Just mix it up.
But I thought, you know what? I'll start off right now and see if I get some miles in and see how I start feeling. And, I normally run a little bit in the summer anyway. So I'm like, okay, you got June, July, and August. And then I'm coaching, August, September, October. So I'm like, okay, I've got like 5 or 6 months of training in. And then I've got November, December, January. I'm like, I should be able to get to 50 miles if I'm careful.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, if I do, you're going to have to come up here.
Yeah, I was already thinking that. I was like, I don't have next year's calendar up, but I was checking what day that was on. But it doesn't really matter what day of the week it is. I can know.
Well, and I was thinking, like, it doesn't have to be on my birthday. So if it was like the weekend before or the weekend after, then, that's what it is. Because I think it's best to do it on a weekend.
That would make sense.
Right? Like, not take the day off of school. And it's also a little tricky where I live. So, like, there is right now, a 50-50 shot that I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's go to North Carolina for the weekend.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's going to be a little more cold. You need your winter gear for sure.
Well, and I don't mind, like, running in the cold, but if it was, like, a blizzard or an ice storm, I've run in those before, and it's not as exciting as you would think. Like, it's really exciting for about 3 to 5 miles, but, that's...
Well, the tough part is, a 5-mile loop would probably be on roads. So if there's something crazy going on, then safety becomes an issue.
Yes. And if you go onto a trail, you never know in Michigan. Like this last year, there was no snow, but if you go some years and you go onto a trail, there might be a couple feet of snow. So, again, I'm like, maybe...
No, you're always welcome. You just wouldn't have as many friends to run with you down here.
I would just bring them.
Oh, good idea.
I don't care. It's your 50th, right? You need to have a celebration. To make
Makes
it half
sense.
a century, so.
Makes sense.
So yeah, we'll see. But I figured, you know what? Like at first I was like, people are right. That's way too hard. That's like too much. And I'm like, no. Compound interest, baby. I'm like, I'll just start and run little, do little things, and just do little things over and over again. And, and we'll get there or we won't. But if we don't try it, how will we know?
That's what we've been doing. We've been doing like 12 basic little exercises, and as a family, we're doing like a little circuit. And so we'll eventually add more time. We may add more exercises too, but so far...
Do you do the circuit only once?
Yeah, we've just been doing it once, like 5 minutes.
I wondered when you said you were doing it, I'm like, okay, are they doing it one time? Are they doing it 4 times? Like, what do they do?
I think... For myself and for Oliver, we would be able to do it multiple. Actually, Oliver's been doing more as well. But for Gina and Morgie, they're having a little bit of a tougher time to do multiples and just be careful without getting hurt.
Yeah, how many do you do of whatever thing you're doing?
Just 15 seconds.
So you do 15 seconds, then go to the next exercise, 15 seconds, and you do 12 of them.
Yep.
Okay, so it's like...
So it's a start. I'm super excited.
Yeah, that's not bad. And that gets you doing something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Heck yeah.
And then we can add more time. We can add more, like I said, more exercises. We can add another circuit. Like, okay, we're getting through this one, all right. Let's do a second one. So
Right.
we're, just building on it and just developing those habits. It's funny that this year, at the beginning of the year, was like about creating these new habits and things like that. And life happens and things come up, but I mean, we're in the middle of the year now and developing new habits. So it's fun.
No, I think
It's awesome.
I think that's fantastic. I think that's great. And like I have a universe moment, maybe. I'm not sure if it is.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if it is. But you and our buddy Jesse and our buddy Miles have been talking about taking a trip to Washington. And when I say we've been talking about it, I mean I'm not talking at all. So everybody else is talking about it.
You did chime in. I did ask you, and you said you were there. So you're actively getting the email. So that was good.
I'm doing the voyeur thing, and I'm listening because, it's hard for me to schedule stuff, especially if I'm running a campaign or doing whatever. Yeah. So I don't want to, like, commit. But it was funny because you guys were, like, talking about 2 weekends. I was like, okay, maybe I can do that second weekend. I'm not sure if I can do the first. I'm not sure if I can do the second. I'm like, cripe, I'm not sure. And then all of a sudden you were like, okay, I'll be there at this time.
Well, because Miles said the second weekend was better for him.
But you did the first weekend.
No, I didn't. I did the second.
No, you did the 20th. The second weekend was the 27th, or it was a week off.
See, for me, the 27th was going to be more difficult. Originally, we were talking about the weekend of the 14th or the weekend of the 21st.
Oh, I thought you guys were talking about the weekend of the 21st or the next weekend after that.
Oh, it might have come up. I'd have to look back.
So I was like, oh, shoot. Like, I probably can't do the first one. But I'm like, maybe I can do the second one. I'm not sure. But then you picked one, and I was like, oh. And then I realized I have a huge conference that day.
Oh, man.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are the days you're going to be there. And I was like, ah. And then I'm like, shoot, I haven't registered for that conference. So I get on today, and I'm registering for it. And it's, like, all paid for because I am who I am, right?
Yeah.
So I'm, like, registering for it. And I'm doing a camp, so I have to leave it alone for a minute, do my camp, and around, like, 3:34, I get back on and I finish it. And it was like, sorry, you've got to re-log in to do this. And so I re-log in and do it. And I know our buddy Jason right now is like, yep, that's a sign right there. That's all the sign you need. Not me, Jason. I need lots of signs. So I'm like, okay. And I, like, get back on and it's gone. Like, the conference is literally gone. And it's a big-ass conference. And so I'm like, where did this go? And, like, I can't find it. I keep trying. I log out, log in, shut down, redo it. I'm like, what in the heck? So I email the people. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on. And then I'm like, you know what? This is not an email thing. So I call them, and they're like, hey, they're probably all gone. They always leave at 4, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, but we'll transfer you. And I'm like, okay, well, transfer me to this person. So they transfer me over. After 5 rings, the person answers. And I was like, sweet. And I'm like, so, hey, here's the deal. Blah, 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 blah. Or yada, yada, yada. And they're like, okay, yeah, so it completely filled up by, like, noon or something. They're like, we can put you on a waiting list. We're not supposed to do that, but we've been doing it all day long. I'm like, oh, so I'd be, like, near the top of the waiting list. And they're like, yeah. They're like, we kind of only planned for 300. I'm like, that seems like bad planning.
Oh, my God.
And they're like, yeah. They're like, well, we'll put you on one. So I'm like, I get off the phone, and I'm like, well, maybe that weekend will be free.
There you go. Do you need me to book you with points?
I have points, too. Amy was like, we have points. And I was like, that's true. She goes, normally we use those for a family thing, but you could use them to go to Washington. I was like, oh.
I mean, I was completely, because Gina and I were talking about it, and I was like, one of the big, because, like, we were all kind of talking about it, and I wasn't sure if it was really a thing. And I'm like, you know what, I need to throw it out there, because if people are serious, then I need to see if it'll work out. But I told Gina, I'm like, I'm looking at this like a $200 trip. I mean, because my tickets are paid for. I'm going to help chip in for gas. And actually, I'm really debating on fasting the whole time. Like, doing like a vision quest, like talking with Sasquatch, like all the good stuff.
Yeah, that sounds completely horrible. Right.
So yeah, I'm not sure, but it was. I don't think it's going to be an expensive trip. I think it's going to be an amazing trip, and I'm really looking forward to it.
There has never been a time when we have been with either of those people and not come away with lifelong stories.
Mm-hmm.
There's never been a time. So,
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal, I think.
I mean, this is going to ruin your every 20-year thing. I mean, you see Jesse twice in 1 year.
I'm betting that he'll just get sick right before we get there.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be just you, me, and Miles, and then the 20-year streak will stick.
Did you see the pictures? And if anyone's wondering, we're Twin Lakes, Washington. If you want to look at pictures, there's two lakes right next to each other, or maybe two lakes, Washington.
Do they look alike?
They do look alike. They're similar shaped.
Wow.
I was looking today. The low was 41 and the high was 80. So I'm slightly concerned.
That sounds amazing.
And the water temperature is 63.
But we're going in July.
Hey, but it's like a month away.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of the water being 63, I was talking this weekend at a get together thing about your ice bath.
Mm-hmm.
And first, before that, I was asking Amy today. I'm like, hey, why don't we go out to the motorhome? We have our own sauna right now. Because she said, sit in your cars for a sauna, like Jason says.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, no, you get your car all sweaty. I'm like, hey, the motorhome's out there. That could be our sauna. It's 94 out. Motorhome's easily 120, 130. She's like, why not just go outside? I'm like, because it'd be way hotter. It'd be like a real sauna. That'd be like fun. And she's like, no, that sounds atrocious. She goes, I think it'd be better to do an ass bath. And I was like, did you just say an ass bath? She's like, I meant ice bath. I meant ice bath. I'm like, ice bath. I'm like, that's a weird accent she got. But we were giggling because I was like, yeah, Jer got this ice bath and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, yeah, we've heard good things about this. I'm like, yeah. I go, and he filled it up with water from the tap. It was 65. They're like, Lake Michigan's not even 65 right now. I'm like, I know. I'm like we'd be swimming right now. And one of the guys was like, I was just fishing up in a river up north. He goes, I'm pretty sure it was 60. He's like, that's not an ice bath. I'm like, I know. To us, that's normal. Normal swimming temperature.
Yeah, it didn't. It's empty now because I couldn't get it dropped down enough. I was kind of sad about that. But.
I was laughing at that so much. I was like, yeah, poor guy.
And speaking of trips, let's say 99% ruled out VCon.
Why?
Well, we're hoping to do it as a family, so, everyone could go. Gina had a great time last time. We both think it would be awesome for Tristan, to kind of experience that.
Yeah.
But with that, the price just escalates exponentially. For a weekend free conference, I would say it's getting at least $5,000. At least that's depending on the hotel, because it'd be flying all of us out, flying out an extra sitter, things like that.
Because
so
you guys wouldn't leave the boys with a sitter at home?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Because they're getting kind of older. Isn't Morgie, won't he be almost 5?
Mm-hmm. So
I'm like, we left Cal at home with Brenna while we went to Europe for 2 weeks.
I know. Maybe if Brenna was here, we'd leave him with her.
Well, maybe we could set it down.
Also, have you seen the speakers? I mean,
oh yeah,
not as exciting as I was hoping.
I did like a lot of them though. I brought them up to Amy and a few others. I thought they were pretty sweet speakers overall.
Yep.
But if I was trying to con myself out of going, I would definitely say they weren't cool. So
I mean, there are some decent ones there, but not what I was thinking or hoping for
But
being in LA.
but they're always
I mean,
awesome. They're always awesome.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, there's still an outside chance it's still on my calendar. I'm looking over at my calendar, but I'm gonna say it's probably not
Okay.
for the family for sure. Me. Well, also another thing. The Monday is the boys start school.
Oh, so you would come back on
So
Sunday and
so
then
we'd
they'd
have to
start school.
we'd have to either skip Sunday or take the red eye back. So Friday would be like Friday last year, where there's a public stage. There's like stuff going on a public stage. Saturday we'd either have to skip Sunday or take a red eye, and then the boys start school Monday morning,
Or it would just be you.
or it would just be.
Because Gina couldn't do both, right?
It would be tough. But I am going on vacation next week or next month, so
Right? But shouldn't you go on vacation every month?
I should go on vacation every month. I'm trying to live in that world.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad world. I don't think that's a bad deal. Well,
But I do like hanging with my family though.
that's true too. That's true too. But you hang with them like literally every day.
I do.
So I get sad when I go on a trip too, but I'm also like, okay, like 364 days I'm with you. I can probably handle one day without. So
Yeah,
I think that makes me stronger as a person.
that's true.
For sure, for sure. Speaking of its origins this week, we could meet in the middle on Saturday.
Oh, I thought Origins was last weekend. Usually it's Father's Day weekend.
Oh, maybe it was Father's Day. Maybe I just missed it.
I mean, it could have changed for sure, but everyone that I've ever been to, it's always been Father's Day.
No,
weekend.
I always remember being Father's Day as well. So maybe I just like stopped thinking about it. But for some reason I was thinking it was this weekend. I thought it was like on my
I
calendar.
would like to go back. I was very disappointed last time.
I have Origins on Thursday. It starts day 1 of 4.
Okay.
So it's Cal's birthday on Friday. Go down there
I know.
Saturday and Sunday.
I was thinking that, like, how am I going to get up there? See Cal.
So we could
I do have
we could
games.
meet halfway.
I'd have to cancel my games on Saturday.
Oh darn it! What games you got?
My monthly game with Matt
Oh nice.
and Corey and Jessica.
Yeah.
We're playing Lord of the Rings by Fantasy Flight right now. It's pretty awesome.
That sounds awesome. Super cool. Well, and they're a good group to play with. So.
Yeah. I know that was bad planning by me when I was like, Cal's birthday's coming up, and I'm like, Friday.
Yes.
This was last weekend.
Well,
like, okay.
and all joking aside, Origins is not quite halfway for you. So, I think it's like 6 hours from you, isn't it?
It's like 6.5.
Yeah, for sure. So
But we've got lots of exciting stuff going on here. So, kind of moving into that next stage. Hopefully cutting old ties and things like that. So, yeah, that's really good. It's really good.
Always fun. And the old house, you got it for sale?
They're supposed to take pictures on Friday.
All right. So yeah, you're moving along really, really well. Our journal sold another copy. Did I say that last week? So my journal on Amazon doing stuff. So that's exciting.
Super awesome.
And I got a note from somebody, like snail mail, which I think snail mail is a great thing and we don't use it enough. Right? Like every once in a while I'll get like a thank you card that way or something. I'm like, there's something about that. There's something about opening an envelope and having a thing. But anyway, they wrote me a note like on one of the pages from the journal.
Oh, that's super awesome.
I'm like, how smart is that? Like, you could pick a quote that had a message that you wanted to give and write like a little note and send it off. I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe we need to make one that's like postcards that you could rip out and like send.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Right? Like, who are the 100 people you're going to send a card to this year?
Yeah.
Right?
That's awesome.
That'd be kind of a fun idea, wouldn't it?
Super awesome.
Man. I like that idea.
Just have to make the stock a little thicker and shoot it down a little. Well, they have the bigger postcards too. They don't all have to be tiny.
Right, and it just had to be perforated or something, and
Mm-hmm.
you take it out, put your stamp on your address, and shoom, away it goes.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, I like the idea. I'm gonna have to put that on my idea board. So
There you go.
I like it.
Love it.
Heck yeah, that's.
I was thinking there was something else I wanted to say as well.
Ooh,
Those
what
are the
was
two
it?
big things. The trip. You brought the trip up.
Yep,
And
I
then
brought the trip up.
plan. I don't remember. Oh well. Oh well, if I think of it, it'll be ready for next month. Oh, good one.
I mean, while we wait for you to figure out.
No, I can't think of it. I'm fasting right now, so
Oh my gosh, how long have you been fasting?
just today. I ate dinner last night.
Oh yeah, I was fasting too. Like I ate like around 11, and I
Mhm.
made myself wait until Amy got home because she did a function and had Qdoba at it. And I said, will
Yeah.
you bring home some extras? And she's like, yeah. So I waited all the way until like 6 or 6:30.
That's surprising for you. That's a long
It
time.
was a long time for me. Like I thought I was going
But
to
you-
die. I started
but you
cleaning
don't-
the kitchen and listening to an audiobook to try to distract myself.
But you don't count your bowls of cereal, correct? Bowls of cereal don't count.
I'm not counting the cookie I had. I probably would have counted a bowl of cereal, but I did have a cookie, and I'm not counting that.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh, okay.
let's not be crazy.
Not gonna go all the way 6 hours.
Like I couldn't go 6 hours with nothing. That's like foolish talk. No.
So Father's Day was this weekend. Did you have a great Father's Day?
Yeah, it was really nice. Ava turned on her mean face and made me stay in my room until breakfast was ready. And she made waffles from scratch. And she didn't have berries, so she ran to Meijer and got berries and Faygo and like M&Ms and cookies, which is one of the cookies I ate. And that made me like this nice breakfast with waffles with fresh berries and whipped cream and stuff. So that was really cool. And then, shoot, what did we do? We went to church, and that was nice. And then, like, normally we do a lot of like activities because what
Yeah.
I tell people is Father's Day, and a lot of people do different things. Like this one girl, one of Brenda's friends, was like, Father's Day is the day my dad hangs out with all of the fathers and gives mom and me the day off. I'm like, no. Father's Day is the one day where I get to choose everything we do.
You get to pick everything.
Everything. So that all the crap that like my kiddos or wife say no to all year, that's the day. So like last year, we went disc golfing. We
remember
played
that.
tennis, right? And so this year, Cal thought like that was the thing. He goes, we got to go disc golfing. We got to go play tennis. We got to do this. I'm like, nah, bro. It's like 86 out. I'm not going to play tennis. And he's like, well, then that's what we're going to do on my birthday. And I'm like, deal. Like, if it's your birthday weekend, you want to go discing, we'll go discing, buddy.
Mhm.
So like we did, I'm trying to think of what we did, but like a lot of it, I was like, okay, we're going to go do this. And I'm like, we're getting ice cream for dinner. And then we leave and I'm like, it took too long. Now I'm hungry. I'm getting nachos. And so like I stop at a bar and get nachos. And they're all like,
That's awesome.
okay. So, we just kind of did stuff. And it was fun.
That's
And
awesome.
I had told them, I'm like, we're going to play a board game. But then we never kind of got to it. So,
Oh man.
yep. And we played some video game stuff. I don't know. It was just one of those good days. And then at the end, we went to see Amy's dad. So she's like, man, I wonder if we should go see Dad. I'm like, girls, what do you think? And they're like, oh, we're not sure. I go, that means we go. I go,
Yeah.
You know, as Ava said, she goes, I'm never going to say no to seeing the family. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, then let's go. And so we turned on the radio. We've got Spotify Premium now. And like the girls and I were picking songs to sing. And so we've got the windows down on the truck and we're just belting out songs as we're driving on
that's
the
awesome.
backcountry road. So that was a good time. So how about yours? Was it amazing and awesome?
It was super awesome. We hung out with Gina's dad, and usually when we see him, like we'll go grab a bite to eat and hang out a little bit. But we spent like all day together, which was a lot of fun.
Nice.
So actually, I take that back. Gina and I had like just a little bit because we went. He likes to eat he eats once a day, and it's like 11 a.m. So we ate dinner, lunch, whatever, and then he took Oliver for a little bit, and Gina and I had some running around, which was nice just to get some things done and to hang out. And Morgie was at his dad's. But then we hung out with him the rest of the day, went and got ice cream, and had a grand old time. Yeah, it was awesome.
That is legit. That's fun. I like that day. Father's Day is a good day, I say.
I agree.
And a lot of people are like, well, it's always Father's Day. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? Normally, as a father, I don't know about other fathers, right? But in our world, like, we just push off whatever we want to do. A lot of times for her, whatever the kids want to do, right? Like, hey, do you want to go do this? Oh, I'd really like this. All right. Well, you know, because we don't care that much, right? So if it'll make you happy, then we'll do that. So it's nice to kind of have that one day where they want to do what you do. Not you, like, forcing them, but them saying, listen, we know you love disc golf. We know you want to experience it with us. We'll play disc golf with you this day, right? And I think that's super nice. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. So, heck yeah. Which I think probably on that note, we're pushing, what are we pushing here? 30 minutes. So it's about almost time. Do we have anything else we want to hit?
Nothing I can think of. It was just it was an awesome week, and I hope all of our listeners had an amazing week as well. And
yeah, people, I hope everything was great. We're working on my next journal, so that'll be fun. I'm in a slow spot because I'm busy doing other stuff. And I've got to do like all my graphics and everything for my campaign, so I'm kind of slammed, but you know, we're getting there. So we'll make sure to get that done for you. And hopefully, Kiltage, you've been working on your book, either the kids' book or the real book.
Actually, today I was mowing and I remembered like 3 other book ideas that I had.
Okay, now
commit. And I like. So it's funny. I guess I'll talk about this real quick. So I had tons of book ideas. So I look back at what I really enjoyed about when I was doing shows. Like, I loved the travel. I loved interacting with people. And, of course, I loved the money. Like, you know, and just that exchange. And it felt like I was in the zone a lot because days were flying by. I was having a great time. So I'm like, I've talked about, even last week or the week before, I was talking about I want to try to, what I'm doing now, I want to try to do some of those things where I'm still interacting with people, sending out good vibes and things like that. But it popped into my head today, like I had all these really cool ideas, like during that time. I had tons of ideas. And I'm like, I wonder if that's because I was in that zone so much, if that's why some of these ideas are popping up. Like, I really need to do some of this.
Yeah.
So that was my realization today. Like, okay, like that is something that needs to move up the priority list.
Yeah, that's I feel the same way. Like, people often will ask, we've talked about in here, hey, when are you going to retire? When can you retire? It came up again this year, right? People are like, oh, are you thinking about it? And I'm like, no, like, I like my gig. But part of it is I tell people, I have learned through experience, I am not as good of a human when I'm not in my structured environment. I just get more stuff done. I'm way busier, but I need to be to get things done. As I've realized, I was telling somebody just recently, I'm like, I don't have a slow gear. I'm either in park or I'm going. Like, I don't have that. Like, oh, maybe I'll just do a little bit. Like, that doesn't, I'll just sit there and do nothing. Right? So I'm like, I've got to be doing stuff. So that helps keep me focused and keeps me doing stuff. Not saying that I wouldn't retire. I'm saying I would have to have something else that did that.
You're still really happy. It's not like you're the old guy who needs to retire and all the students hate you and the other staff are like, why is he still hanging around? He's definitely not happy. And that comes through in your teaching, but that's not you.
Multiple times today, people like came up when they're like dropping off kiddos or picking up kiddos. They're like, yeah, they said your session is their favorite. I'm like, heck yeah, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, y'all can't compete with this energy. I'm like, no way, baby. No way.
That's cool. That's super awesome.
Yep. Well, that's the name of the game. If you're loving it, they pick up on the fact that you're loving it, right? And then things just go well. They go good. So. All right, people, I think we're going to call it short there. It's been a good 35 minutes, which is probably as long as we should ever talk. Look out for some YouTube minis. Kilted and I are thinking of a special episode, and we're thinking of doing some YouTube minis as well. So be prepared to get flooded with those. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, love talking to all of you. It's been great. Kilted, it's always a pleasure. And hey, this is Ballbuster signing off.
The Dragon